Oh my god, so many tech issues. Good lord, why can't things just, like, work? I don't know, but if the audio's fine now, it's just... I was trying to fix some stuff and made everything worse, and then I was trying to fix some, like, new games to stream, but made everything worse, and just issues and issues and issues. Fucking hell, I'm so sick of all this shit. Let's just play some In Other Waters, and, it looks like we're probably gonna be able to finish it today, so I guess let's do that. I don't know how long this will take. We completed the first base, but we have second and third base to get to, and that shouldn't take too long. Did I leave some, like, taxonomy stuff to read? I can't remember. No, I think I did read everything because I didn't want to leave it for next time, because that's annoying when I just start with that. But we had a log here, right? That was the one thing. Uh-oh, she's on to me. I know you've been reading these. The access logs show someone has been in the file system of my terminal, and well, by process of elimination, it has to be you. No, it's Mine! She's fine. I don't mind. In fact, I suppose I have been writing these entries for an imagined audience anyway. Confessions, or maybe just a need to talk. We make a strange trio now. Me, a depressed xenobiologist who can't keep their mouth shut. You, an AI, hello? Built from the remains of a sentient species. And your sister, Mina, who is now more plant than human. But as far as I can tell, we are the only ones on this planet who have any chance of finding out what happened here. I think I'm starting to understand why Mina called me here. It was because she trusted me not to give up. Not to let this go. Let's not disappoint her. But apparently there's still 2 more logs, maybe, if that's how it's gonna go. Yeah, I really thought we would, like, end up with more crew members over the course of this, and, like, oh, fix the observation blister, and, like, someone would be working the generators, and, like, we haven't needed to do anything here. They're kind of just there for the sake of it, I guess. Did I want anything in here? I have some stuff. That should be fine. Alright. So, I want to go, yeah, I guess here to begin with. Oh, we can just, like, teleport there? No. Yeah, we have to go from there. So I do want to go to the bloom one first, and then we'll go to the right one. Hold on one sec. Oh boy. I'm just, like, already exhausted. What is it with computers and just not working? Hell, I had a dream last night that, like, I was at my computer and things were just, like, going wrong. I remember, like, oh, the monitor was, like, flickering in a weird way, and the speakers were, like, crusty and peaking and stuff, and, like, everything was just going wrong, and I thought I had to, like, replace pretty much everything. And then I wake up and turn on my PC and turn on my second monitor, and it's fucking flickering. It fixed itself, but still, like, what the hell is that? Jesus Christ. There's just something wrong with technology, man. It's cursed. Do I want these? Not really. I mean, I might as well. Yeah, this is kind of overkill. Not like we need to do this, but why not? That's not centered. That's not centered. That's not centered. That's centered. What? Why does it do that? I don't understand, man. Well, she doesn't stop me now, at least. What is here? Bloom bubble? Sure. Yeah, we're out of the bloom now anyway. This is just more bloom bubbles, I think. But I mean, why not? Just stock up. Guess I'll, like, leave one for the way out, maybe. I guess I should prime this one as well. Is there any reason not to do that? Like, at the start of each dive? Just prime that and prime the boost. Kinda wish that wasn't a thing. Like, I wish they were just primed. Because there's no reason not to do it. Collapsed chamber. Choked. Oh, one more second. There we go. Forgot to, like, brighten my monitor. It's so dim. Choked with rock and sand, the metal chamber is deathly still. The angular shapes of industrial machinery lie in wait. And we can dive down deeper. Now we're going to Greenland. And then I guess the right one, is that going to be like blue, RGB, or is it going to be yellow? Melted pillars. The pillars which stretch up towards the cavernous roof of the chamber are warped and distorted, barely able to hold the weight. Rock piles. Half of the rock ceiling above the chamber seems to have come down at once, burying most of the room. Central vent. I imagined this was once a sealed tube, stretching from floor to ceiling, but now it's just a round, ragged hole in the metal floor. Rusting machinery. Hulking machines built for industrial use. Built for industrial use, sit covered in a fine layer of sand and growth. This was a place where people worked. Nothing up here? Okay. Look, that tank. It is filled with microbial growth. What was this place? Be careful, the water will be just as toxic as it is above in the bloom. Okay, well then let's go here first, if I can. That was just like, to go here? We could have just not done that? Breached wall. This side of the vast tank has been corroded away, melted by the incredibly dense volume of microbes inside. Crushed room. Whether it was a control room or storage shed, this room has been totally crushed by the facility's collapse. Derelict vehicle. The shell of some corroded maintenance vehicle is flooded with sand, its top a garden of microbial growth. Shattered walls. Angular plates piled with sand are all that remains of the rooms and structures that divided up this level of the facility. Let's look around a little first. Oh, we get logs as well. MDS. Haven't I seen MDS before? MD. Sir, Dr. Hesse has just arrived from Site 1. FT. Send him through. Constantine has full clearance. Huge volumes of rock and sand must have smashed through the layers of facility, burying it and its occupants. Well, I guess let's see, like, is this toxic too? I assume so? Yeah. But then we can go here as well. Clogged tank. The shattered tank is dense with microbes. Thick green webs of growth stretch across the suit's visor, turning the lamplight acid green. Yes, we can continue going down again. Can we go up? Like, past where this went? No. Wait, was that white? As in I hadn't read it? Yeah, what? Why is that? This dark hole in the floor is spewing out the same microbial clumps as seen in the bloom above. They settle around the vent in layers. I guess I didn't read it. I just left when she told me it would be dangerous. Sealed containers. Baikal containers marked with now dull yellow biohazard tape. What were they shipping into this facility? This is no lab. This is an industrial facility. These containers must have carried some vital resource for its operation. Fuel, perhaps? That's that. Why not? Just gets wider and wider. Tank breach. How did this towering metal container split apart so violently? An accident or something more? Corroded walls. These tank walls were breached with explosive force, the remains corroding away over the decades that followed that violent act. So that confirms it has been more than decades at least. We don't know how long it's been. These banks of consoles must have controlled the operations within the tank. Now the tank's contents have turned them to scrap. Let's just try and like get out of here quick. Here we go. R. Ingram. Maintenance on the South Hall is continuing. I'm seeing a massive pressure spike here. Control? Collapsed pipe. These wide pipes look to have been connected to the hall's tank. They must have controlled the outflow of whatever was produced here. South tank. The tank stands in a huge hall, its pipes leading off into the dark. This facility was not built to study this planet, but to change it. Oh god, I glitched it! Oh, that was weird. These pipes, those tanks, this facility was outputting huge volumes of something into the planet's atmosphere. This has to have been geoengineering, a geoengineering project, a way of changing Gliese. But looking at this place, it suffered a total collapse. What went wrong? They dug too deep. So I guess Gliese, whatever. Dense bubbles. Plumes of green microbial froth pour from the breached tank. Are these microbes even local to this planet? Or did Baikal bring them here? Maybe this planet didn't have any life, and they brought it. Surprised we're not being, like, acidified here. Corroded. Central archway, a tall passage between the two halls of the facility. This must have been impressive when it was in full operation. Leaning tank. The central tank has held back the sand and rock, but it leans unsettlingly forward into the hall. North tank. A fully sealed tank rises up through the center of the hall, its sheer side streaked with growth from the southern tank. So this is like northern tank? This is southern? What? Silced? Umbilical? Sliced, I think it's supposed to say, yeah? Sliced umbilical. The connection between this console and the tank is sliced clean through. Is this what stopped it from breaching? Kind of an odd amount of typos nowadays. There has been like a couple, but now they're piling them on. Maybe it's because Ellery is getting like, you know, frazzled. Sand drifts. A rising wall of sand leans heavily against the tank, burying tons of equipment and who knows what else beneath its slopes. We go up or down here? User L. Youngs. Yes, sir. Atmospheric density is increasing ahead of schedule. Please inform the board. They will be pleased. Access hatch. A large access hatch to the floor above lies open, its ladder corroded into a twisty, rusty spine. Yeah, but let's not do that yet. Clear passage. Between the overhanging tank and the buckled, twisted walls, a clear corridor leads forward, yeah. Not leans. Split containers. Crushed by the rockfalls, broken open containers reveal rich patches of microbial growth, like miniature gardens. Hey, hello. Control, I'm slicing it before it cascades. Clear the reactor chamber. The bacterial outflow is about to hit. Overgrown suit. A sand-dusted chair props up the remains of a suit, the faceplate clouded with rich green growth. Console bank. A row of corroded consoles wired up to an umbilical connection which has been cut away. Right. That's everything here. Could I go further down in the hole here? Surprised I can't go in here somewhere. Maybe we go up and around and then down or something. Let me just check this. Hog tank. This vast tank is one of two that stretches the full height of the facility. Inside the water is thick with microbial growth. We can keep going down. I mean, I guess let's go for the access hatch first. And now we're just back here. Control room. The rows of sand-choked desks, rusted consoles, and dim monitors make it clear. This was the facility's control room. Eroded bones, preserved by the low flow of water inside the control room. The smoothed-out shapes of human bones are scattered across the floor. And yet, like, papers are totally fine somehow. See Hess. No, no! Oh god, the tank is breached! The artificers! I didn't mean! Here. This is where they controlled this place once. They were changing this planet, manipulating it. These vast tanks of engineered microbes were their tools. Algae changed the atmosphere of Earth billions of years ago. These creatures were meant to do the same. But by accident, or sabotage, this containment was breached. These idiots, they could have killed every last species on this planet. Again, maybe there were no species. Eaten up in a global bloom. Somehow the reef survived. Somehow the stocks held on. Tried to revert our mistake. Humans don't deserve this planet. We didn't deserve to find life. I've seen enough. Scan was left and I'll take a look back at base. Let's find a way out of here. F-Tar. Constantine? What are you... Step away from the console. I'm sorry. Badeo? I don't know. We are doing the artificers a favor. Despite all their abilities, they couldn't manifest this kind of planetary change. Emergency hatch. The control room's evacuation hatch hangs open, piles of rock and sand all around. Control console. Despite the cave-in, this console is surprisingly pristine. A cup sitting beside one of the monitors where it was placed decades before. Oh yeah, we can go up there. But isn't this just gonna lead us out then? Yeah, this is just out on the other side, which I guess is probably gonna take us to, that sample I needed? I don't know if I have enough resources to go back down and go further, but maybe? Maybe there's not really much. You just go down and there's, like... it just ends there? So I guess let's check it. Yeah, I don't think I should use those yet. I guess this one I can use. But I don't think we've used quite 40% yet. Dense growth. The oldest and largest microbial colonies lie here. Great translucent green bubbles made from millions upon millions of microbes. Corroded lamps. Gleaming in the green, these vast reflector lamps sit at the base of the tank. They must have lined the walls of the container, beaming in light. The lamps. The old growth. This is where the bloom began. This is no native microbe. It is lab-grown, built to convert light into power and oxygen. A vast microbial fuel cell designed to thicken the atmosphere of this planet, no doubt. But when it breached containment... Can we talk about this later? I'm surprised anything still lives on this planet. It must have been devastating. You're dying! Clogged tank. The base of the tank is thick with growth. It's hard to see anything in this haze of green. Yeah, there we go. Wait, I didn't even collect the sample. Ugh, I'm running out of stuff. That one seems good. If only we can get that, like, many times, but... probably not really worth it. Bloom source. A huge colony sampled from Site 2 beneath the bloom. Security seal. This is why no one escaped the facility. The tunnel is sealed. The control room's escape route cut off. Metal corridor. Sealed at both ends, this corridor is pristinely preserved. The Baikal decals still visible on the gleaming walls. A second seal locks off the corridor at the other end. They made sure no one would escape. Well, you can't prime this, like, ahead of time anyway. Concealed tunnel. The small tunnel leads into a small shelf overlooking a rift, discreetly cut into the rock. Northern Rift. Back in the open water, the current at this end of the rift softly pushes against the suit. Rift wall. Above, the steep rift wall meets the shelf of the bloom. But we couldn't have gone here before, could I? Bloom shelf. To the north, green clouds rise up, the familiar sight of the bloom that surrounds this shelf and the facility below it. I don't think so. Sheltered waters. Behind the pillars, the reef's strong currents are lessened, making a small sheltered stretch of water on this side of the rift. This suddenly feels like very bright. Yeah, I don't think we could have gone here before, right? And I guess since we're here, I might as well just, like, go across this way. And we can see if we can get a couple more spark colonies, just for safekeeping. Oh. Nice, got him. I couldn't quite remember if there was one there or not. Did you do that? No. Let's see if I can get, like, yeah, one more maybe. Unless there's one, like, right here. Yeah, there's one right here. Might as well then. Alright, good. Got anything to say? Back online. Good. I've been working with the data we extracted from the facility. What they did there, it's terrible. They could have wiped out life on this planet. Baikal should have known better than to mess with the entire planet's ecosystem. But money! Right? The failure of the facility was catastrophic. The bloom dominated half of the planet. As far as I can tell, it wiped out the artificers. Think about those skeletons in the back. Think about those skeletons in the bloom. Ah. But the rest of the planetary ecosystem reacted somehow, resisted, pushed the bloom back. I don't understand how life could have adapted to the change in conditions so quickly, though. It's as if they evolved to meet the challenges of the bloom in mere decades. Impossible. Let's keep looking. There's another facility to investigate out to the east. There has to be more to this. I want these ones. That would be nice if we could get multiple of them. Maybe I should check, but it would take a while. Probably not really worth it. Bloom froth. These clusters of opaque green bubbles can be found clinging to surfaces in the quieter areas of the bloom, where currents do not disturb their growth. They appear to be accumulations of the bloom's microbial growth, the green clouds that create this vast toxic cloud of anoxic ocean water. The bloom itself is a mysterious phenomenon, similar to terrestrial algae blooms, hence the name Mina gave this part of Gleesa's ocean, but far more potent in its strength. But far more potent in its strength and seemingly much longer lasting, as much of the life in this sector is adapted to these extreme conditions. The similarity to terrestrial blue-green algae, aka cyanobacteria? Cyano? I don't know. Has led me to classify the species as bacterial, but this thesis needs to be tested. Perhaps by analyzing this froth, we can understand the underlying chemical process taking place here. Laboratory analysis of the froth has shown that each large bead in the bloom froth is a single microbial colony, bound by a gelatinous film, much like terrestrial cyanobacteria of the older Nostocales? I don't know, man. Fucking hell. Can we get some narration in this game, please? However, unlike this terrestrial species, the bloom froth displays an incredible ability to actively modify their internal chemistry to whatever conditions they find themselves in. Most bloom froth appears to have diverted to consuming metallic compounds found in unusual abundance in the region of the bloom, rather than sunlight. This has led to the bacteria outputting large volumes of neurotoxin rather than oxygen. I can't even read anymore, Jesus Christ. It is this which has left the bloom both anoxic and toxic. To understand more, we need to find the source of this destructive bacteria. Yeah, like, I'm feeling so fucking drained today. Just so many annoying things happening all at once. Just reading, like, scientific posts. Not really the time for that. The discovery of bloom froth colonies in Site 2 suggests that the bloom microbes are laboratory-adapted cyanobacteria developed for power generation and terraforming. Baikal's original intention may have been to oxygenate the atmosphere of Gliese, thickening the atmosphere to offset atmospheric warming due to its tidally locked orbit. But when their terraforming site was breached and the species reached the open water, they visited a massive ecological disaster on this planet. How did the planet survive? This aggressive species should have turned this ocean green, flooding it with neurotoxin. Such an adaptive, aggressive, genetically modified species is outlawed by every biological sanction we have. I am preserving these samples as evidence of their crimes. One day Baikal will pay for this. Bubbles. And brine striders we get in the, like, bottom right of that place. The abyss. So, alright. How many, did I, like, store? These ones, not really. I guess that's fine for now. We have a lot of these, but these ones are, like, kind of harder to come by. Unless we, like, go for a run. But let's try and leave that for now, and see if we can get over here. I was muted. I just said, are these good? And they're not, but I'll take them anyway. No, not even worth the space. That's fine, at least. No. Okay, let's just ignore all of this stuff. Good lord, there's a lot of sampling points here. Alright, here we go. Been wanting to see this one for a while. Living colony. Behind the barrier, the throbbing interior of the colony is revealed, filled with throngs of Zoids acting as one. Floating colony. I've never seen a colonial creature. Oh, no, okay, I thought she was going to say something. I guess this is the same as before. Of this scale or complexity. Can it really be one single united creature, made of ever-shifting processes? Webbed structure. Beneath the translucent webs of spherical growths, half-digested walls sit suspended, like an exploding room, frozen in time. Pulsing passage. The vague shape of the facility's walls is preserved by the colony, the spaces between filled with shifting swarms of life. The interior of this creature is like a golden bubble, the light trapped and refracted by hundreds of pearly orbs strung together. This colony breaks the surface 20 meters above. It must be floating on the surface, its body descending in layers like a living iceberg. Colonial bridges. Between the ragged parts of the facility stretch looping bridges, pumping liquid back and forth from the heart of the colony. Here we go. Tentacle corridor. Sounds like a fun time. The walls are a flowing mass of tentacles. Some have broken away and are floating freely in the water. We might be able to extract them. Budding zooids. Tiny medusoid creatures are budding from the walls here, splitting off from luminous stems to join the flow. S. Emerson. Constantine is too arrogant. Just because he discovered the artificers doesn't mean he can decide their fate. H. Roth. Sam, he wants to free them. And what do the artificers want, Hannah? Has anyone asked them? Damn it. Colony tentacle, a zooid tentacle sampled from a floating colony. Ratis colony. Ratis? I don't know. I'll call this colony Ratis. It floats beautifully across the ocean, like some impossible vessel. A vast colonial creature made of thousands of specialized zooids. It floats freely in the ocean, its upper section breaking the ocean's surface. Fractured lab. Eaten away on one side, the remains of this lab are like an open set, a staging ground for the colonial's process of sublimation. Clear passage. Why would the colony preserve the rooms of the facility as it consumes them? What bizarre processes are in action here? Flowing currents. The hollow structure of the colony allows water to flow throughout its core, creating both bulbous corridors and open halls. Central lab. The central laboratory is almost complete, apart from the large tree-like growths cutting through its walls. F. Voigt? We can't let this continue. We never intended this. I never asked for this. That thing they are building. GS. I know. G. Sour. Constantine has already left for Site 2. If the facility fails and Site 3 is breached, the oceanic mind can be stopped. So Site 3 is the one in the abyss? This is Site 1? Is it? Colony's heart. Dappled light fills the chamber, passing through its complex branching strands, orbited by swarms of zooids. This looks like a biologist laboratory. Whatever. It must have been the first exploratory base on the planet. They discovered the artificers. They started all of this. These were scientists like me, employed by Baikal to study this place. How did it end like this? The minds they were building in the archaeology, the genetic research they were doing here. They were all working towards something bigger than just one lab. How could they have let this happen, these biologists? Our first contact turned into a resource grab. Scan all you can and then let's leave this place. I'll review everything back at the base. It won't be long before the colony eats this place away once and for all. Guess I'll do one of these, since we're going to be going back quickly. Zooid flow. Each zooid has a function within the colony. Their flow back and forth, evidence of some complex process that is impossible to parse. Room fragment. A fragment of a room eaten away into some strange sculpture, hanging in the blue. It's hard to imagine what this place once was. K. Clark. Haven't I heard about K. Clark? Artificers are gardeners, not colonizers. They rewrite genetic code to develop mutualism, to foster life. And we foster capitalism. M. Thorfinn. Someone's been watching Vinland Saga. That is absurd, Kevin. They are no different to us, adapting their environment so they may survive. No, they are not us. Wall sections. From some angles, the zooid-clogged walls of the facility line up, and I can imagine the past life of this place, with all its human dramas. Yeah, like which anime is best. Gas bladders. More gas bladders holding the remains of the lab in place, like the pieces of a torn map, hinting at the history of a long ruined structure. How many spaces do I have? None spaces. These ones were kind of bad. So these are better for oxygen. Not that it matters. Let's do that. 40%? That's a pretty good one. And there's 3 of them. Oh my god, we just found, like, the mother lode of, like, oxygen stuff. This would be a good place to stockpile. Let's just toss that away. I guess I should have charged one of these again. Oops. Colony opening. The ocean stretches east from here, a blue desert beneath 3 red suns. What might lie out there, beyond the range of this suit? She's probably gonna say something like, yeah, we can't go further. No? Zooid swarms. These shoals of golden life look solid as I approach, but passing through they are little more than flurries of petals, caught on the current. Where am I going? Gas bladders again. Okay, yeah, they really set this up as like, this is the place you want to go to farm oxygen stuff if you want to, like, do endgame exploration. Just go here, grab 6 of these, and then get out. But I mean, there's kind of no reason to get more, unless I toss this, for example. Do I need more than one? I kind of want more than one anyway. But like, these I don't want to throw away, so maybe just a spark colony or 2. Because like, I had a lot of spark colonies, and those are also easy to get. So I'll get at least like 1 spark colony, or 1 more of these. Yeah, those are good. That leads back here? I thought I couldn't go anywhere else from this direction. I think that's everything, so let's get out of here. Online again? Good. We have a lot to talk about. I've been digging through what we discovered at the facility. I was right to assume that facility was the first base on the planet, the start of all this. The lead biologist, Konstantin Hess, oh, that was him, found the artificers here more than 30 years ago. But what is truly incredible is what he discovered they could do. Genetic reprogramming, rewriting RNA and DNA, both in themselves and their local environment. Some Earth cephalopods could rewrite their RNA, but nothing at this scale or detail. The artificers tended to this world, nudging its life into a new arrangements. Not only that, but their exoskeletons. They were quantum computers. What are you talking about? Silicon wafers of incredible complexity and purity, able to simulate the outcomes of their genetic rewriting. The artificers were housed in natural machines, ones that evolved here over millions of years. Their complexity far outstrips our own. We could have learned so much from them. But Baikal wanted the artificers' abilities for themselves. And based on what we found at Site 2, we know how this ended. A total collapse. A vast microbial fuel cell leaking into the ocean, eating everything away. The artificers gone, their genetic abilities used, in death, to save this planet's life. They died for this planet, and you are all that survives them. Well, perhaps not all. I keep seeing the same thing mentioned in the data, the same term appearing in fragments. The oceanic mind. As far as Baikal were concerned, you were just the beginning, the first mind. The artificers were the key, inscrutable creatures with a quiet power. Able to simulate, predict, then able to change. They could rewrite life itself. For Baikal, the opportunity this provided was clear. While the artificers were like gardeners, caretakers of this world, Baikal imagined something else. An oceanic mind providing total control of the ecosystem, able to enact their will. That's what they were building when the colony collapsed, and it is still out there. In the deep, powered by the heat of hydrothermal vents, the oceanic mind sleeps. I want to see it for myself. We have to know how this all ended. I marked the approximate position on the map, way out to the north, deep in the abyss. Let me know when you're ready to see this through. Boy! Good. Alright. I was born on Earth, born in the city of Ponta Delgada, out in the Atlantic, among the... Why is the scrolling so slow here? I guess you can pull, click and drag. Among the turquoise waters and green slopes of the Azores? I don't know. My father was studying the dying waters, chasing the last known pod of sperm whales to record a final fading image of their impossible spatial language, before it was lost forever. RIP. My mother was a journalist writing a book on citizen scientists. That never found a publisher. We lived there, and all along the Atlantic coast of Europe for almost a decade before life became impossible, the storms tearing into the tidal walls, flooding city after city, clothes twisting in foaming waters. We joined the latest waves of refugees, found ourselves beside the Thames, resettled in London. I thought it was like a different word, different name. From that privileged viewpoint, I watched our oceans die, and then my parents too. And at some point, once I'd left that sad grey planet behind on a string of Baikal contracts, I forgot that turquoise water ever existed. You were born here, and maybe here things can be different. You know, I think I might just wait with this, should I? Okay, it's just this one. Ah, fine. Let's read it. Rotis Colony. The Rotis Colony is a huge colonial organism made of layers of zooids all occupying different roles within its large and complex body. Closer to a living island or iceberg than a creature, Rotis is a free-floating structure which travels across the surface of Glisa's planet-spanning ocean. Trying to observe the patterns of Rotis is a difficult task. I've counted tens of different zooid types flowing in constant movement throughout its cavernous interior. We can assume that they occupy the typical roles of a colonial organism: motility, defense, digestion, and reproduction. But in a colony so vast, many other processes may be happening. Does Rotis have any neural activity? And why does it cling to the remains of the Baikal lab? Sampling some of the different zooid types may help us understand more about this colony. Sampling the colony's gas bladders has helped us analyze how Rotis stays afloat. It seems that thousands of these bladders, of different sizes, both keep Rotis at the surface and hold the fragments of the laboratory in place. These bladders, with their high oxygen content, can be inflated or deflated individually to respond to currents and move Rotis across the ocean. This suggests that Rotis has some way of orchestrating massive changes across its huge volume. In a sense, perhaps Rotis is better thought of as an individual with various specialized organs rather than a colony, and yet it shows no signs of a central intelligence. If I was to discover neural activity within Rotis, could I even understand it? This creature is so alien to our ways of understanding the world. Analyzing Rotis' tentacles has shown they possess an ability to secrete metal-digesting substances. The conclusion is that these tentacles are consuming the lab piece by piece, using it to fuel the colony's incredible growth. Perhaps Rotis was once a tiny creature floating in a biologist's tank. When the facility was breached, Rotis was gifted a near... I can't read Rotis anymore, Jesus Christ, stop saying Rotis. Gifted a near inexhaustible amount of metal to consume, allowing it to grow to its vast size. One day it will eat away the entire structure, its body carrying the shadow of this planet's first human settlement. Sometimes I wish that our marks on Earth could be erased so easily, but the only shadows in our oceans are those of thousands of extinct species we will never regain. What an uplifting game. 70 meters in height. And we just, like, went in there. Alright. That is everything. I wonder if... is it just Brine Strider left, then? Maybe I should go for that. Oh boy. I'm getting a little, like... I'm wondering, like, this must be the end, right? But I don't know how long this is gonna be, if this section is gonna take, like, a while to do. But I guess let's go here first. So, what was happening in here again? Anything special? Did these, like, drain oxygen, or was it power? I don't remember. Here's something to sample. Oh, that's a good one as well. But it's only one. Was it out here? Yeah, it drains oxygen. Well, let's go. Toxic waters. The sharp shapes of remains jut out from the pale brine like mountain peaks below clouds. God, that's a scary sound. Distant lights. Pale beacons flicker across the lake. What are those? Toxic waters. Is there anything out here? I see tall shapes in the dark. Brine Inlet. The sand between the pools runs down into the lake. Is this island being slowly swallowed, or is that just my paranoia? Hey, guy. I'm just gonna go here, because I can just scan from here, right? And then we can read again. A creature has shed its bubble crest out on this desolate island. The carrier is nowhere to be seen, perhaps lost to the brine. It's just a mucus bubble. Damn it. But I guess there's another one here somewhere. Lake Island. This meager patch of high ground provides a dreamlike respite from the milky waters. Strange creatures call across the lake. Yeah, here we go. Shed carapace. Is it carapace or carapace? A small, smooth carapace sits between the pools, half sunk in the sand. Could this island be a refuge for juvenile creatures? Glowing shape. From this small pool at the lake's edge, a pale blue pulse is flashing. I swear I see lights blinking in response out above the brine lake. Let's go here first. Can't go out further. Brine shell. A glowing shell found among the brine, stained with chemicals. Young carapace, a stony carapace shed by a creature near the brine pools. So was that it? Pool network. The ocean floor rises back out of the pale brine into a series of rounded pools. Yeah, I know I went out a little bit, so yeah, it's here, I guess. Yeah, I've already been here once before, but I came this way this time. Guess let's go here first, see what we have here again. Brine shell. Oh, it's another one of those. Okay, so that was useless. And here is another mucus bubble. I wouldn't mind a mucus bubble, but I guess I don't really need it. It's I guess we've already had these, and spark colonies are better anyway, so let's just do that, I suppose, and then grab the mucus bubble instead. And then that should be everything, I guess. That was pretty quick. I expected this section to be a bit longer. Alright. I guess let's go for it. Let's see if I can finish everything tonight. I haven't taken a look at achievements and stuff, if there's anything else we need to do. I guess I don't really need 3 of these, right? They're all 40%. This one is slightly better. Let's do that. Alright, final entry to read. For now, anyway. Brine Strider. Brine Striders are towering crab-like creatures which live among the brine pools. Their tall, reed-like legs keep their carapace from the toxic waters that claim most other creatures. The bones and shells of creatures that die to the brine pools adorn the Striders' carapaces, pulled from the brine by a pair of extended claws. Among these rocky piles, smears of bioluminescence glow blue. This pulsing life, whatever it is, finds shelter in the remains the Striders collect. But why do the Striders make these creatures a home in the first place? I'm also curious how, if the Striders are vulnerable to the brine, do adolescents reach the heights required to survive? In order to understand more about these obscure creatures, perhaps we need to analyze the glowing brine-clogged remains they gather. Analysis of a brine-clogged shell reveals a complex chain of chemical reactions. Among this chemical richness, a form of extremophile bacteria feeds on the brine's chemical traces. When the Striders collect these remains, they also collect the bacterial colonies that live on them. Removed from the brine, but still feeding on the chemical-saturated shells and bones, these bacterial colonies produce a bright glow, a side effect of their metabolism. Do the Striders know that they're turning themselves into pale beacons? What is the nature of the relationship between these bacteria and the Striders? I need to understand more about the life cycle of a Strider, and how they grow to such heights. Analysis of a juvenile Strider's carapace paints an enigmatic, but beautiful picture. The adornment of shell and bone only begin as the brine Strider matures, each arrangement being the life's work of that individual. Though the Striders often live apart from each other, it seems that they still communicate. Their adornments, which grow taller and brighter, act as beacons. They can signal for food, signal to mate. They keep company from afar. Gathering the remains and their glowing bacterial colonies is a ritualistic process, a way for each of these large and ponderous creatures to create an identity within this ecosystem through a living, working, growing work of biological sculpture. Oh boy. They're kind of like those things in Half-Life 2. Whatever those were called. It's like walkers or something? Striders? I think they were called striders, right? Maybe they're inspired by them? I don't know. Okay. So with that, I guess it's time for the Abyss. I think I'm like 100% done in the rest of this. I guess let's check. Oh, I always forget there are no achievements in this game. Yeah, I thought there were achievements for some reason. So yeah, like once I'm done, if it says 100% in the file, I guess I'm done. Deep vents. Let's go. We're almost at the hydrothermal vents, 3 kilometers down. This has to be close to the suit's range. I can hear the plates creaking. Somehow we are maintaining 1 atmosphere of pressure inside the hard suit. If we make it back up, we'll be setting a strong first record for deep dives on Gliese. There's almost nothing in the water column here, no life to speak of. But the oceanic mind should be somewhere ahead. That's our target, whatever monster Baikal left us. I'm ready. Let's find it. I don't know if I'm ready. Abyssal plain. Layered with a wispy fog of oceanic ooze, the darkness of the plain is absolute. Metal sediments. Streaks of iron ore have accrued across the seafloor, the mark of nearby hydrothermal activity. There's not enough oxygen down here to use the rebreather, so I'm on reserves. The survey data we pulled shows the vents running north from here along a ridge. Keep moving, we haven't got long. Basalt crust, edges of volcanic rock poke through the sediment, black strips against the bright mineral and metal ores. Sediment snow. The soft drift of sediment flakes catches in the suit's lamps, falling from the venting fluid as it spreads into the waters above. Anhydrite chimney. What? Black plumes of fluid rise from a crystalline chimney, discolored with yellow sulfur streaks. So going through here is gonna, like, drain our oxygen more? Incredible, look at these things. I remember reading about the discovery of hydrothermal vents on Earth centuries ago. Donnelly, Corliss, and Van Andel, 3 geologists, they never expected to find life in that eternal darkness. And yet there it was. Whole ecosystems we never knew were there, totally independent of the sun's light. They were imagined to be models of alien ecosystems, life in its most extreme forms. But until this planet, that proved to be false. To all of humanity, the universe was dead. Damn, Baikal, for keeping this place from us, for keeping humanity in the dark. Talc sand. Bone-pale sand mounds surround the chimneys, like great piles of cremation ash. Nope, that didn't drain us more. Chimney cluster. Towering pale spires shimmer with the intense heat of the vents as chemicals are pumped into the water from deep within the planet. Hello, Mr. Hive Mind. Black plumes. Oh, we're going yellow, I guess? Rich in minerals, the black plumes of the vents tower over us, fading into the black of the ocean above. Vent structure. The tiered structure of the vents evidences their eons of incremental growth as deposits build up around them. Anhydrite spire. The overhangs shimmer with trapped gases, reflecting the twisted shapes of strange dead creatures at the spire's base. I'm just gonna keep going this way. I don't understand. Where's the life? This ecosystem is totally barren. All these minerals, nutrients, heat, and nothing feeding off it? How can this be? Could it just be this vent? Let's keep looking. Broken chimneys. The rubble of sealed chimneys lies all around, the hydrothermal fluids seeking other exits, forming new vents. Pillow lava. Mounds of grey rock sit in the bed of pale talc sand, evidence of ancient volcanic processes. Cooler water. The intense heat of the vents quickly fades off as it mixes with the cold seawater. New chimney. Another vent is beginning to form in the rock here. A low pile of crystalline anhydrite starting to gather. Vent debris. Away from the center of the cluster, collapsed chimneys and pillow lava create a landscape of stratified shapes. Anhydrite chimney. Close to the vent, masked by the shimmering water, I can see the shapes of a distorted creature, long dead. What is that? Pyrite crust. The glint of fool's gold catches the light of the lamps, scattered among the talc mounds. Bright bubbles. Gases vent up through the sand, creating these thin strings of bubbles. There we go. We don't look at the creature that was here? Sand plane. Out of sight of the vents, hidden in the dark, the heavy silence of the seafloor returns. Hulk drifts. Eons of sediment blanket the seafloor, so pale and empty. And all these, like, subtle color shifts are very, like, atmospheric. The artificial mind Akari was building down here, what was the end goal? Was Baikal hoping to control this whole ecosystem? An entire planetary agriculture attuned to feed their needs. An ecology manipulated by the possibility of genetic rewritings, a power stolen from the artificers. An enslaved planet, like Earth. I know now why Mina was secretive. She knew that if they found this place again, that would be it for life here. Anhydrite chimney, another vent chimney. Where's all the life that should thrive on the rich fluid which blackens the water? Strange tiered and curved rocks sit all around, distorted by tectonic processes and stained with mineral growth. The surfaces around this vent are thick with sediment, but absent of all life. Even the ubiquitous bacterial mats are nowhere to be seen. Another barren vent. This place has been wiped clean. Something is wrong here. What did they do? Bubble stream. Around the base of the vents, gas bubbles stream out of cracks, forming pillars which glitter beautifully in the suit's lamps. You'd think she would have more concerning things to think about right now with the oxygen and what's going on here, rather than, ooh, pretty glistening bubbles. Talc piles. The bleached sand is almost perversely clean. No life has marked its surface in decades. Anhydrite spire. Another spire sits at the edge of the cluster, filling the water with blackened fluid like a lightless bonfire. Calcified corpses. Here, away from the vents, piles and piles of distorted corpses lie, their whorled bones dusted with pale sediments. Oh god, look at these creatures. The bodies, it looks like progressive ossification. The muscles have become bone. Their mutations are extreme, like cancerous growths. There's no structure to their anatomy. The mind, is this what it made? These senseless monstrosities? I don't see anything. Corpse piles. Radial piles of long-dead creatures, frozen in crippled states of deformation, scar the seafloor. Hive mind? Biological matter. The corpses have become a mass of undifferentiated matter, with the occasional shape of a bone or shell, like a tooth growing inside a tumor. Shattered dome. A vast organic sphere towers over the corpses, its ornate geodesic patterns mirroring those of the artificers. I'm assuming we don't have to refuel, but I'm not sure since I'm reading things out loud. The mind. It's huge. Big brain. But it's silent. It's been silent for decades. This is no cradle of life, it's a grave. Did they fail? Is this all that's left? A broken mind lying in a bed of corpses? They had no idea what they were doing. The arrogance of all this. The whole ecosystem boiled down to nothing. The artificers lost to us. These are Baikal's crimes. Akari's crimes. What a waste. Is there nothing left? We should look inside. The Oceanic Mind, a vast ornate structure grown in the Baikal labs, sits broken and dead on the seafloor, its interior a dark cavern. We can go deeper. Can the suit handle deeper? Just a few meters. Huh? Hello? Oh, we can go deeper. Hold out, little suit. Artificer. A small but ornate geodesic exoskeleton lies in the silt. Inside the Artificer shifts and reforms. Inside the Artificer shifts and reforms with a rhythmic consistency. Is it alive? The mind's heart. Deep inside the Oceanic Mind, something flickers in the ruins. Is that an Artificer? It survived. Or it was born here? Does that mean there are more? It looks dormant. Is it even alive? Wait, do you hear that? It's singing. I can feel it. It knows. It knows what we are. And it is afraid. I understand why. Look what humans did here. I'm sorry. Wait, no, come back! It's gone. We should be going too. We are running down on down our oxygen, and it's a long way back up. It's fine, I've got supplies. Come on, there's nothing left for us here. I'm prepared, even if you're not. I'm sure something will happen on the way back. Oh, okay, time to go. I'm beginning the ascent. So they are still out there, the Artificers. This is their planet, and we owe them so much. I suppose it's your planet too, with the mind being a failure, the colony destroyed. You are its last artifact, born here. And now, this is my home too, mine and Mina's. There's so much left for me to do, so much to study, so much to understand. Our history here, it is ugly, something I don't want to be a part of. But this planet's future, maybe we can have a part in that. Mina gave everything for the truth. Some residual part of the Artificers changed her, but I hope she knows. Knows that she succeeded. This place is no longer a secret, no longer Baikal's to control. Thank you, Mina. And thank you, to you, for staying with me, for guiding me, for playing my game. Together, I think we can make a change, show humanity Baikal's crimes, make them accountable. We both carry burdens here, but the past doesn't define us. Life continues here, despite everything that happened. I can find comfort in that. I think I'm going to stay. I don't have anything left out there, but here I have Mina, I have you. And I have a purpose. Someone needs to swim these waters, to catalog this world, in other waters too! When I was little, I swam every day. I would walk down to the ocean and step into it without a thought. I lost that degree by degree, as Earth's oceans died, but here things can be like that once again. These waters can wash all the old ways away. And together we will see what's left when they do. Oh. For Anna S? Anats? There you go. In other waters. Yeah, I like this game a lot. I wasn't really sure that it was gonna be just basically a book, you know, like going into it. It's just a, what do you even call those? Like, you know, like sorcery and those types of games where it's kind of a choose your own adventure, but not really, because there's not much flexibility. Like a kinetic novel almost, or interactive fiction, something like that. This is pretty loud. But yeah, I wasn't really sure that was going to be the case. I thought it would be more of the, like, navigation aspect, similar to Mirror Moon EP and Mew Cartographer and stuff, but this definitely focused a lot more on the story. And, I mean, I gotta be honest, I think I probably would have liked this a little more if I didn't stream it. I'm still glad I did, like, I'm glad I played this, and the streams have been pleasant enough when I don't fail basic reading, but this is one of those games where I think I would have enjoyed it a whole lot more if I, like, really just sat down, immersed myself, played it for my own sake, just reading things, like, in my head, and just kind of went through it. It's kind of reminding me of Analog Hate Story, which was also, like, it's kind of a visual novel, but not really, and, like, kind of the same thing where you read a bunch of logs and figure out what's happened in the history of, like, an abandoned or old derelict ship and stuff. And that game, I can say for sure, I would not have enjoyed if I had, like, let's played it or streamed it or whatever, because, yeah, it's just so much reading, but just kind of immersing myself, sitting up, like, I think I, like, basically binged that in, like, 6 hours in a sleepless night one time, and I really enjoyed it, like, connected to me, or with me. And I think this game would have done the same. Like, I still like it, and it's definitely a very nice experience, but yeah, it would have been more impactful for me had I just played it on my own, I think. Oh, and post-game? Hey, what's up? Nothing? Oh, okay. I'm up on the comm level. Come quick, I'm about to do something stupid. I repaired the antenna. I'm starting to think I should have been an engineer. I know I said we would wait to be rescued, but I'm sick of waiting. Everything we have discovered together, this whole ecosystem, we need to share it. I'm about to broadcast it all. I already have. Don't worry about it. Your scans and maps, my notes and sketches, everything we know about Gliese 667 CCs. Or CC. I'm sending it on all channels, 1 million data packets heading out and into the black. That way we can be sure it will make it out. We don't own this place, not any more than anyone else. So we can't keep it for just for ourselves. There's too much beauty, too much hope in these documents, too much of a future. All these hours of study and discovery, they've changed me, changed my life. But I'm ready for what comes next. Thank you for helping me get here. Right, that's enough of a speech. I've talked enough for the both of us by now. No, I have. It's up to you to do the honors. Hit the switch. It's time. Hold on, I'll just read your diary quick. Now the real work begins. Whatever was left of the oceanic mind, it is dead. Another failed experiment. Another biological atrocity to add to humanity's list. But I don't want to let it define us and our role on this planet. It is like a very realistic story in that sense, like obviously it's sci-fi and stuff, but yeah. probably would happen if some, like, space corporation could, like, exploit an entire planet. They probably would, for financial gain and whatever. Power and who knows what else. We can't start fresh, and I know that. Or, whatever, I'm reading it wrong. But the artificers are still here, and that means we can reach them. I want to show them we are curious, we are kind, we are able to live alongside them. There is still so much left to study here, so many questions to answer, but I'm not scared anymore. I'm excited to see what we can achieve in the time we have. People will come here soon enough, and when they do, I want to show them what we have found, the evidence of Baikal's crimes, and what we need to protect. Soon enough, but I mean, we're probably talking like years, if not decades, right? Like, that signal is gonna take a while to reach anyone, right? If people can see this place for what it is, a second chance, then maybe they will want to protect it too. That's what my father believed, and my mother believed. That if people could understand what they were losing, they would want to save it. Let's get to work. And yeah, I don't have anything else. I guess the taxonomy is done. Mina is just here. Ellery? What does that mean? Like, is that Mina trying to communicate, or is that some, like, you know, what Ellery did? Like, her verification or something? Antenna damaged. Automatic repair not possible. Off-site assistance needed. Contact Baikal. Alright. Again. We just go for the credits one more time? Encore? What do you mean? Why are we doing the credits again? I guess I'll let this play, because I mean the credits were fairly short. I don't want to skip the menu in case something else happens at the end of the credits, but I assume it'll just go to the menu, but that is very strange. Why the hell would they do that? Just like play the credits, and then you wake up, and then you push one button, and then you play the credits again? I mean, like, I guess it's because you're kind of expected to have other stuff to do, I suppose? Where it's like, no, I want to go and do all this, and we go out and find extra stuff, and then you push the button? But still kind of strange to do it that way. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about this game. It was nice. I wish I was better at reading. And had a better, like, mic and stuff. I don't know if it even sounds fine today, because yeah, I've been messing around with settings and just making things worse. It's very frustrating. And we go for backers again. And I guess the only complaint about this game, which I've already mentioned, is I think it's unfortunate that you get punished for, like, being a slow reader or just reading things out loud. Which, you know, for a game that's story-based, you would think they would account for. Like, in a non-story-based game, I could understand that a bit more if, like, oh, auto-scrolling text is too quick or whatever, but in a game that's, like, meant to be a book you read, basically, and potentially stream and record and whatever, it's kind of unfortunate that, like, so many things would have been so much smoother if I didn't read things out loud and I just looked and then, okay, I've read that now in, like, 2 seconds instead of, like, 20 seconds. But, you know, it's a pretty minor thing, and even when you read everything out loud, it was totally fine. Like, you never ran out of resources, really. I think there was, like, one point in the bloom that felt a little frustrating, right? But everything else was, like, was good in that respect, but could have been tweaked a little better, I feel. And the auto-scrolling text, that was just, like, a set timer, even, like, regardless of how much text was there to read, as far as I could see. So some, like, minor things could be polished up. But yeah, it's very polished otherwise. Like, I don't think we had many bugs or whatever. There was that one thing that just happened where I, like, scanned and went to a node at the same time and it did some weird thing, but not really anything bad. And just a couple, like, typos and, you know, mistakes in the writing. But when there's this much writing, that's kind of understandable. But otherwise, very polished and, like, very atmospheric and enjoyable. 100%. About 11 hours. Could probably be cut down to like 5 or 6 if you didn't read things out loud. So yeah. Definitely would have been one of those like binge in one evening games, I think. But that's In Other Waters. Let me know if you know any other games similar to this and Mirror Moon EP and Mew Cartographer and stuff. And like Iron Lung is another popular one. I haven't played that, but I have seen like most of it, so I don't think I will play it. But yeah, just those types of games where it's like you have to kind of figure out how to even play them, and it's mostly like, you know, figuring out like a story, what's going on, probably reading logs and stuff. Not that that's a necessary thing, but yeah, I really enjoyed this style of games. So if anyone knows any other ones like this, let me know. Now let's take a break, and I'm gonna attempt to play a new game. I've had tech issues, so I'm not so sure if everything is fine, and like, will it work? Will it sound okay? And I don't know. It was a big headache. I was initially trying to play a different game, but that also had like tech issues and stuff. So we'll see. It's called A Highland Song, which is apparently like a platforming rhythm game that has like hand-drawn animations a la Spiritfarer or like Ghibli movies, Ghibli, whatever. Seems kind of interesting, so I'll check that out. Thanks for watching In Other Waters.